I saw on CNN the other day, they had a debate about whether it's even been proven beyond a reasonable doubt that Trump knew anything about it, that he knew it. Forget getting to intent and what was in his head when he was concocting the scheme. What is the proof that he knew anything about it other than Cohen's word? Look at this. I mean, it's pretty extraordinary to see. For the record, it's a black woman defense attorney talking to Jake Tapper. That's exactly Biden's demo, by the way. Black women voting for Biden almost overwhelmingly in all the polls. But she's here talking to Jake Tapper, who I must say has gotten a little bit more fair since he got appointed as the first debate moderator. I like Jake, but boy, oh boy, if I watch him today, you'd think he was straight down the middle. Okay. Anyway, listen to their exchange.
I don't know that they have proved beyond a reasonable doubt that even if you believe the prosecution's theory of the case, that Michael Cohen was doing this and Alan Weisselberg was doing that and McConney was doing this and all these people were doing all this stuff, I don't know that they've proven that Donald Trump knew.
They have not.
Yeah.
They absolutely have not. And I think, time and time again, people keep talking about what might be missing or what's not quite there. That is, in fact, reasonable doubt. When things are missing, when there are facts that you want to hear and you look to the prosecution and say, so where is that thing? That means, unfortunately, here, he should be acquitted.
She owns her bias right there explicitly, Arthur. Unfortunately, it means she should be acquitted. And that's just that on the subject of knowledge. Did he know anything about this as he was writing these checks out?
I've been following things pretty closely. I've been in the courtroom. I mean, look, these secretaries actually, or whatever the politically correct term is, his assistants, special assistants, they did testify that he had his fingers on the pulse of a lot of the finances, even when he was in the Oval Office, that they would send him checks to sign. And then the White House secretary would send it back to the Trump Tower secretary, and there would be checks that were unsigned because Trump refused to pay certain bills. So his fingers were on the pulse. Now, the counter argument to that, which I would have shoved up the jury's nose, and I don't think that happened yesterday, is, yes, ladies and gentlemen, they want you to believe that he is such a micromanager of every nickel that comes out of his pocket, talking about Tiffany picture frames. And yet, he didn't notice that $30,000 went in Michael Cohen's pocket that was supposed to go to the media company or the technology company, Redfinch. So how close is he really monitoring his money? How much is his fingers on the pulse? $30,000, folks. Not $3,000, not $300, $30,000 in the middle of this exact scheme that the prosecutor wants to call it. Just filthies this whole thing up so much more than we even knew about in opening statements.
All right. Now, I would have said to that, Mark, if I were the prosecutor, how was he supposed to know that Michael Cohen was stealing from him? Like that wouldn't have been reflected on the documents that Trump poured over. By the way, it was $60,000 he stole from the Trump organization because they doubled it for tax purposes. So it was $60,000 that was paid out by Trump that Cohen wasn't entitled to. But I think you could make the argument as the prosecutor, he was a line by line kind of guy, but there are limits to any human's abilities, and determining that Michael Cohen actually secretly did not get $50,000 from Redfinch. He only made them pay 20, and he did get the 50, but he only made them whatever. He stole 30 is the way I'm trying to say it. How would Trump know that? 30. But wait, but one other point on it. Because I think the best evidence that Trump knew anything about the Stormy payment is the tape that proves he knew about the Karen McDougal payment. Mark, because that's the thing. We heard on tape him and Cohen discussing the Karen McDougal payment that AMI paid, and Trump claims that it was, clipped. And there might have been more on the tail end, but on that you can clearly hear them discussing the payment, and Trump's happy that it got made. They're talking about how's it going to be paid, cash, what, blah blah blah. I mean, I can see as a juror saying, all right, what are the odds he knew that much and that level about the Karen payment, but not the Stormy payment, which was weeks before the election?
Which is why if I'm handling this case, and I've said it from the beginning, number one, I don't insult their intelligence and say that he didn't know that these people were being paid off. Secondly, I go one step further. While I wouldn't say that he had the affair, I would say we're not going to turn this trial into whether he did or he didn't. And the reason why I do that is because that's better than what happened. To get Stormy Daniels to come in there and make it seem like Trump is lying about the affair And I think that the prosecution won on that issue because she got into all those details, and it just seems so believable. I would never have turned this trial into, was Trump telling the truth about the affair, and or he didn't know anything about the payoffs. The specific issue is how the payoff would be handled. He wasn't in the weeds. He deferred to Cohen on that, and he then didn't know, even if Cohen told him, that somehow that was unlawful and he wasn't supposed to put down legal fees as opposed to something else.
Do you owe back taxes? Pandemic relief is now over. Along with hiring thousands of new agents and field officers, the IRS has kicked off 2024 by sending over 5 million pay-up letters to those who have unfiled tax returns or balances owed. Don't waive your rights and speak with them on your own. Tax Network USA, a trusted tax relief firm, has saved over $1 billion in back taxes for their clients, and they can help you secure the best deal possible. Whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, they can help you. Whether it's business or personal taxes, even if you have the means to pay or if you're on a fixed income, they can help finally resolve your tax burdens once and for all. Call 1-800-245-6000 for a private free consultation or visit tnusa.com/Megyn. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.